Beck, thank you for joining us. Just going to have the media start with questions. James Henderson, go ahead.
Hey, Tim, obviously you have Devin back at quarterback this year. Just your thoughts on him through fall camp?
Yeah, I've been really pleased with him. He seems very confident, very calm in the pocket right now. He's seeing the defense as well, and he's making really good decisions. So I see a lot of growth in him, even though he missed, well over half the season. I still see a lot of growth in him, not only as a player, but also off the field as a leader, personality, much more vocal. So really pleased at his development.
And I just want to follow up. I'm interested to hear how you handle getting guys quality reps during fall camp, but also kind of protecting some of your upperclassmen from injuries and getting nicked up, things like that.
Yeah, it's a puzzle. Obviously, you got to make sure they get what they need. You have to try to script that way in practice to get the plays that the certain individuals need. But it's also football. I mean, they got to get ready. They're going to get hit. I mean, until they take pads off and put flags around us, like, we're going to get tackled. And so we got to get used to playing the game. It's the way the game's played. And so it's you do everything you can as a coach to teach your players how to play and practice smart, to take care of each other. But it is football. It is a contact sport, and there's going to be contact. And you try to just be really mindful of that and careful, and try to eliminate as much as you possibly can the excess of it.
Thanks, Tim.
Jonas Pope.
Coach Beck, Coach Gibson just said that because he has so much experience on defense, his guys are able to play faster and not think as much. Going up against that experienced defense every single day, how much is that helping your offense and making your guys better?
Yeah, and I would agree with Coach Gibson. Very fast defensively. They, again, being in the system probably for 1 year also has helped. It's helped the coaches learn the players, knowing their strengths and weaknesses, but it's also helped the players know the system better. So they are playing faster. And it's tough. It's a tough go. I mean, they do a great job against us. We have to continue to remember as coaches and as players, it's about the process. It's not about the results, right? That every day we go out there and we're just trying to get a little bit better every day, right? We're trying to find one thing in our room or one thing in the O-line room. Let's get better at this today, hand placement. Let's get better at pass pro. Let's get better. And so the small little details are going to add up to a lot bigger, better things. And when you start to game plan and you start to attack people, you start to see results, but you have to lay that foundation first.
Matt Carter.
Yeah, Coach. You had a lot of guys who obviously played a lot last year on offense back, but have there been any newcomers or maybe guys who didn't play as much last year that have kind of really stepped forward and caught your eye so far in camp?
Yeah, I think, I can kind of go position by position. I think up front in the offensive line, Anthony Belton's had a really good fall camp so far. I've been really pleased with his development, his progress, the things he's doing. Derek Easton's had a good camp. Bryson Spees. I mean, there's a lot of competition going on with those guys. And, you have the consistency of Icky. He's playing well. Really worked on, some of the smaller detail of things that he needs to get better at. Dylan McMahon and Gibby at center. And, it's a good group. It's a good group. They love here. They're lunch pail guys that come in, they punch a clock and they go to work and they love it. At the tight end position, again, Dylan Parham kind of fits that offensive line mentality, but I like what Trent's done. Chris Tootle has really had a really good fall camp at that position. Andrew Jane. I mean, I think those guys have had opportunities to get in there and make some plays, and they've made them. So it looks, I've been really impressed with them. Julian Gray at wide receiver has really done some really nice things for us. Brings a different element to us on the perimeter as a young player. Still learning everything, but there's a different gear with him, and I really like what he's doing. And our running backs, we've got a crew back there that have all gotten better. And our young guy, Demi Sumo, he's he's impressive. He's a really good young prospect that has a bright future here. So I think those are just some guys that jumped out in the first week. But there's other guys that have done really good, and there's very consistent play with some of the older players that sometimes you take for granted. But those were just a few names that jumped out.
Alex Sawyer.
Yeah, Tim, you kind of touched on him there a second ago, but I just wanted to ask about Trent Penitz and how he's kind of, adjusted to that new position and how he's been going through camp with that.
He's doing well. Trent's a very, very talented young man, very athletic, very fast, but he's big. And so we felt like we can utilize him with the depth that we have at the running back position with Bam and Ricky and Jordan Houston and Delbert, and Mark Jones has had a good fall camp, and now Demi. And we thought, how do we get this guy on the field? How do we help him? And so putting him at a different spot, learning and letting him go out there and he makes some mistakes. That's not his natural position. So he's still learning some of it, but I tell you what, he's an electrifying player. That's for sure. I mean, he makes a lot of things happen and creates a lot of mismatch nightmares out there.
Go ahead, Jonas.
Coach, because you did have a full spring this year, unlike the spring of 2020, and you kind of know your personnel a lot better. Are you guys at the graduate level right now of them knowing your offense, or the PhD level? You guys still in the undergrad, or kind of progressing through the whole fall camp?
I guess it depends on who you ask, right? Or what position and what player, right? There's some graduate students, the guys that played a lot of football, they get it. They're picking things up really fast. We're able to add some things and create some things offensively. And then you ask those younger guys that are still learning, and then the incoming freshmen, they're like grade school. They're still learning. So again, it's all about the process. We're just trying to get better every day. If we can get better every day, by the time when it matters, we're going to be a good football team.
And just to follow up, a couple of times this offseason, Coach Dorn has said that Devin has gotten to the point where he's finishing your sentences, kind of know what you want, kind of know what you're going to say next. How much easier does that make the offense flow when the quarterback and you are in sync like that?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it helps having some consistency. Obviously, we had the COVID bug hit us at one point last year. We had injuries. And so our depth was musical chairs and quarterback was musical chairs. So it's certainly having consistency helps being in the system again, but it is, and Ben's the same way. I mean, Ben has picked up enough now. He's still learning. He's still a young player. We forget that. But those guys now, they get it. They are speaking my language in terms of how I want them to talk, how I want them to answer questions. Really short, clear, and concise, so we can move on and not drag things out. And Aaron's a smart study, McLaughlin. He's picked things up really well. I love his pocket presence. He's a big, strong dude in there. He just still has a lot to learn.
There's one more quick follow-up. Did it kind of help Devin sitting out and had to watch, kind of learn your system a little bit last year as opposed to, trying to learn on the fly?
I don't know that. I think most players learn by doing. They don't learn by hearing or seeing as much. It familiarizes themselves with the play, perhaps, but actually going out there and seeing cover 2 or seeing cover 3 or the blitz and having to react to it, that you can't replace experience. And so I think that's why I'm very impressed with Devin. I'm very pleased with where he's at, because his ability that he's missed so much football to be able to transition to where he's at, the calmness and the decision making that he's doing right now is really good.
Does anybody else have anything for Coach Beck? We look good. Okay, Coach, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
And if you guys hold on, we'll have Coach